Mercedes bogey track, Ferrari take full advantage. Charles Leclerc on pole position for the 2019 Singapore Grand Prix. He outqualified his teammate for the 8th race running. Welcome to Singapore. The European season is long since done. Welcome to the first flyaway of the year. It's round 15, the Singapore Grand Prix at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. It's our 12th visit to this impressive facility. It's a city street circuit by day, by night. It is Formula One's first official night race. And it stops as round 15 on this incredible season, just a week's time, and then with the Russian Grand Prix. Japan in 2 weeks' time, well, that's going to be absolutely spectacular as we kick off, and we're off to Mexico, United States, Brazil, and all rounding out in Abu Dhabi on December the 1st. Lewis Hamilton leads the Drivers' Championship. He is a whopper in front of Valtteri Bottas, 284 points to 221. It's now a question of if Lewis Hamilton will win the title. It's a question when he will win his 6th Drivers' Championship. The real interest is the battle for third place between Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, both the other winners of this season, of course. Verstappen winning 2 of the last 6 races, Leclerc winning 2 of the last 4. He has been on fire, Leclerc, in the past few weeks, with victory at the Italian Grand Prix, putting him well ahead of his teammate of Sebastian Vettel, who's in 5th place on 169 points. Almost 100 back, that's Pierre Gasly in the Toro Rosso now in 6th place. Don't expect him to move any further up in the title this season though. Carlos Sainz therefore should take over 6th spot in the championship. What a great year that would be for McLaren to be best of the rest. Ricciardo is 8th on 34, he's level with Alexander Albon in the Red Bull. Danny Kvyat rounds out the top 10 on just 33 points. 11th and 12th, they're level. Hülkenberg and Raikkonen on 31 points. It is the battle for 8th in the title that is definitely going to be going on until the end of the year. 12th place, well, that's Raikkonen. 13th for Sergio Perez on 27. Lando Norris on 14th on 25 points. Stroll is 15th on 19. Magnussen just 1 point back. From 8th all the way to 16th is the battle we're going to see for the remainder of the year. Romain Grosjean looking to stay on for another year at Haas. He's only got 8 points to his name. Giovinazzi on 3. Kubica announcing his retirement from Formula 1 once again at the end of the year is only on 1 point. And George Russell still the only driver with no points on the board. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, well, Mercedes lead the way, 505 points. By this time in Mexico, they should be the Constructors' Champions. Ferrari only on 351, Red Bull on 266. Expect the battle between McLaren and Renault, followed by Toro Rosso, Racing Point, and Alfa Romeo, and even Haas, to be the watch at the end of the year. It is incredibly close, but Williams still in 10th on 1 point. It's the 2019 Singapore Grand Prix, and it's due to be an absolute classic. Let's take a look then at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Been on the calendar since 2008 and it's historically been Mercedes bogey circuit. They won here last year though, so let's go on board with the Mercedes W10 for 2019. Start the clock, down to turn 1. It's called Shears, it's a very tight one. Remember 2017, the contact that happened with the two Ferraris and Verstappen. It immediately tightens up into turn 3, a second-hand corner, which launches you back on to the actual circuit part of this track. Down now towards the flickered turn 5, 4th gear as you launch down the back straight towards turn 6, full 8th gear, dare I say, but another kick towards the wall before coming into turn number 7 at Memorial Corner, all the way down 3rd gear. Right the curb at the exit before coming into turn 8 at Stamford, before coming down the boulevard into turn number 9 at Pagdanya. It's a very cheeky corner to get right, because if you get it wrong, you're into the wall. Coming down to turn 10, reprofiled 2013. This is, of course, is the Singapore Sling, a 4th gear flick for backing yourself on to the Anderson Bridge. Of course, it's been reprofiled in 2016. We now use the other half before coming into the hairpin, the very tight, nasty one at turn 13, which always was to throw the car in the opposite direction. down towards Coningott now at turn 14. It's a fast one to get right because you're back on the brakes down to second gear and try and ride the curve to the exit as much as possible. 15, 16 and 17 come up really quick. Reprofile, of course, a few years ago allows a much more smoother exit. Of course, it's where Piquet spun the car in 2008. Under the bridge then at the Marina Bay section at turn 18 and 19. It could be gone in a few years' time, so savour it while you can. Turn 20 and 21 lead back onto the purpose-built section of the track at 22 and 23, fifth gear corners, open up the DRS at the exit, and you're across the line. That's a lap of the Marina Bay Street Circuit here, and it is an absolute cracker. It's the toughest one of the season for these drivers. 2 hours in the car, they all work to beat this race. Hello everybody and welcome to the 2019 Singapore Grand Prix and your Sunday race preview. A lot to look forward to here in today's race. 2 hour distance, the hottest race of the year, and it is going to be dramatic. Charles Leclerc starts on pole position. Now the winner of the last 8 Grand Prix have always come from pole position, 8 of the last 10 years. So it's looking good for Charles Leclerc to claim his 3rd race victory in a row. If he does, he joins Damon Hill and Mika Hakkinen in becoming the driver to win their first 3 races back to back. And that is a serious medal on your collar. Wow. Let's get into qualifying report then and how it all happened. We'll start with Q1. It was Bottas fastest, Kvyat, Stroll, Grosjean dropped out. They were the biggest surprises there in the first session. A late set of laps for Bottas and Hamilton gave Mercedes an early 1-2 as the qualifying hour got underway at the Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore. Leclerc and Vettel 3rd and 4th. Verstappen rounded out the top 5. Contrasting fortunes down at Toro Rosso, Haas and Racing Point, Kvyat, Grosjean, Stroll all dropping out as their teammates were allowed into qualifying 2 with the faster times. Stroll continuing his run of never making Q1 here since 2017. Grosjean brushed the wall though on his final effort, damaging the car, and the result he couldn't continue on his laps. Pierre Gasly would have participated Pierre Gasly would have been pleased with his effort and would have participated. He set a lap good enough for 9th place ahead of Alexander Albon driving the Red Bull that Gasly campaigned for the first half of the season, but of course was demoted back to Toro Rosso. Gasly very much suited to the Toro Rosso and very much suited to this circuit this weekend. Bring up the rear, meanwhile, where George Russell and Robert Kubica, after the pole, decided that he was leaving Formula 1 at the end of the year. On to qualifying 2 then, and Leclerc was top of the session, but it was Lando Norris who certainly impressed us all. Lando Norris, the top stars of the second segment of qualifying. The McLaren driver ended up P6 overall, 1 place ahead of Albon's Red Bull, and less than a second off the fastest time at his first outing here in Singapore. The fastest time was by FP3 leader Charles Leclerc. He ended up 0.070 seconds ahead of teammate Sebastian Vettel. The Ferraris over 2/10 cleared the Mercedes of Hamilton. That meant that both Ferraris, along with the pair of Mercedes and Red Bulls, and McLarens and Renaults, so it was 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 in the third part of qualifying. 5 of the 10 teams going through was absolutely fantastic. It just proves that qualifying is not the problem. The race is with the cars. So qualifying, stay as you are, please. Failing to make it out of Q2, Perez, Giovinazzi, Gasly, Raikkonen and Magnussen. Raikkonen missed the chicane as well, coming out of the back half of the circuit. His lap time got cancelled for that as well, and he missed the chance to go head-to-head against Giovinazzi and Alfa Romeo. And that means now Perez will fall from 11th to 16th after receiving a 5-place grid penalty after his contact with the wall in free practice 3, so he does start from 16th on the grid. Knocked out Perez, Giovinazzi, Gasly, Raikkonen and Magnussen. On to qualifying 3 then, and we feared it might be a repeat of Monza. Everyone leaving the pit lane at the same time to not try and get a tow, but to try and get the clear lap advantage. No one else around them. But luckily, we got a good session. And initially, it was Sebastian Vettel who set the fastest time, a 1:36.437 on his first flying lap, so in 3.5 tenths clear of teammate Charles Leclerc in P2. But however, on the last runs, the onboard camera showed Vettel failing to improve on his second effort, made a few silly mistakes coming out of turn 14 as well, just sliding into the wall ever so slightly, just missing it, but yeah, he costly second run at the back. That was left wide open for Mercedes and for Leclerc to take full advantage. Mercedes tried, but they can only get second for Hamilton and Bottas a bit further down in fourth. So, pole position, once again, third race running, and for the fifth time this year, Charles Leclerc got pole position. The most unexpected pole, he called it, and I can agree, because he has now set the pole number 5 of a 1:36.217. A fantastic lap. Hamilton put in a mega final lap, but he matched Leclerc in the last two sectors to end up 2/10 off the pace, but sector 1 was worse for Hamilton. So, the grid seems good, with McLaren strong as predicted, Sainz getting the job done in P7, ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. Hulkenberg qualified in the top 10 here for the fourth year in as many years. Lando Norris will start 10th on the grid as well. Let's take a look at the full grid then for the Singapore Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc starts on pole position then for the 2019 Singapore Grand Prix. He is alongside Lewis Hamilton on row 1. Row 2, Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen. Row 3, Valtteri Bottas and Alexander Albon. Row 4, Carlos Sainz and Nico Hulkenberg. And row 5 sees Lando Norris alongside Antonio Giovinazzi. Row 6 sees Pierre Gasly and Kimi Raikkonen. Row 7, Kevin Magnussen and Danica Kvyat. Row 8, Sergio Perez, who has a 5-place grid penalty for a replacement gearbox. He is alongside his teammate Lance Stroll. Row 9, Romain Grosjean and George Russell. And row 10, Robby Kubica alongside Daniel Ricciardo, who's thrown out of qualifying for an overpowerment of his PU element, which means he has to start at the back of the grid. Well, it looks to be a dry race here for the Grand Prix, unlike 2 years ago, but it's still going to be dramatic. There has been a 100% chance of a safety car in every single Grand Prix that has ever happened here. So we're going to have safety cars, we're going to go to the 2-hour time limit. This is going to be a long race, but it is going to be one to watch. It's live on Sky Sports F1, and you can listen live on BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra, and you can join us later at 7 o'clock on Channel 4 for all of the highlights as well, and join us on Tuesday for the Grand Review podcast, where you can listen to radio commentary of the Grand Prix as well. Megan and Dad are alongside me in the commentary box, so that'll be fun as well. They are here this weekend, by the way. But we'll be back in just 7 days' time for the Russian Grand Prix as well. One more step off in what is technically European, but it's not the final leg of the European season, you know what I mean. But we're back in Russia in 7 days' time for what should be, hopefully this year, a good Grand Prix. But today's is going to be another cracker. Will it be 7 races in a row that has excited the Formula 1 fans? Can Charles Leclerc win 3 races in a row and join Damon Hill and Mika Hakkinen in doing so? Or are Mercedes going to do it again here in Singapore and take a very unlikely victory? Join us on Tuesday to find out. From us all here, bye for now.